Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. My name is Carlos. Today we'll be reviewing a leg session, keeping it stable the last few sessions, pretty much the same exercises while we're trying to progress on reps and weight. So before we do, please hit that subscribe button, post notifications, leave a comment, and all that great stuff. So, what's up? What's up with the legs? What's up with our training? Continuing to progress. Making steady progress. So, been incorporating a couple of new moves into my leg routine with the idea of obviously bringing up the leg size. Leg size has been lagging as per last cut. This is where you reveal when you get into a diet and you try to get in shape. 3-4 months calorie restriction, carb cycling, cardio, and maintaining the weightlifting as hard and as heavy as you can, all your flaws will be revealed. If you have a thin neck, if your calves are tiny, if you don't have a chest, all these things that look so buff when you're, big and bulky, they'll show when you get on that diet and try to get into your leanest condition possible. So this is what happened to me. It was revealed that my legs were lagging, and this was kind of a surprise for me because pretty damn strong on the squat. I mean, doing reps with 4 plates, ass to grass, not 1, not 3, but 6 to 8, you should have some decent leg development, right? And I can hit like lots of reps with 3 plates and all that stuff. Very strong on the leg press, blah, blah, blah. But no leg size, no leg mass. And I said, how could this be possible? My trainer said, not my trainer, the guy who did my biometric analysis and all that said, probably ate them up doing hard cardio, which I did. Dieted too extreme, went too low on the carbs for too long, which I did. I neglected my refeeds because I don't have a coach. And so all these things, I'm not complaining. This is actually a really good thing. To go through this process by yourself without a coach and make mistakes, how else are you going to learn? How else are you going to know? What experience do you actually have? And go, oh, man, maybe I should have had that cheeseburger that other day. Just do these strategic refeeds and not go so deep into catabolism and into these deficits. But that's a trick. It's an art. It's very hard to do. Now, if it's about losing weight and losing body fat, I know how to starve myself. And I was doing this with like 2,500 calories, so I wasn't really starving myself. I was eating a lot of food. But, I'm 5'11". I've weighed, my max weight is 229, when I just let myself go and eat and do weight gainers and protein powders and all this bulk stuff. I can get it, above 220 pounds. So for me at this time, or that particular shred, to go below 195 was I just had to let it go. I know some of you guys understand this process who have been perma-bulking and are kind of large, you're taller, and you're used to being, over 220 pounds or something, and you get down to the 190s and say, well, how low can you go? How low can you go? Went down to 188, 185, 183, 181, 180, 179. My only consolation was watching MMA UFC fights. And I'd see some of these guys, they'd be 5'11", 6 feet, weighing 70 kilos, 155 pounds, and looking in shape, looking decent. I said, well, I'm not an MMA fighter. I'm a bodybuilder, I'm a weightlifter. Yeah, but 179, that was my body. And I couldn't go below that. As hard as I tried the last 3 weeks, and this is what lost my muscle, I was very strict. I was extremely strict. I was hungry, man. I would leave the gym in crises. I would look at all the fast foods. I would look at the, I'm here in Bogota, in South America, and here they have panaderias, which is, like the bread shops. And I would just go craving, some French bread and some candy. I mean, these are the weird cravings that you get when you're that hungry. You know, like all day that day I was keto, then I did my hour cardio, and I was just like flipping my wig, man. It did actually. I went bald that one day. I lost all my hair. I had 3 foot long Rasta hair, and it just fell off. Nah, just kidding. Man, but so the last few weeks just going super hard on that diet. I got the biometric test, and I was at 10% body fat, which I'd never been. And instead of going down, I thought I was going to get down to like 8 something. Went up to 11. From 10.3 to 11. I said, what the hell? Yeah, you lost 2 pounds of muscle on your legs. I said, what the heck? And those last 2 weeks, I did some really exhausting leg sessions. Like I did 6, 7 exercises, lunges, squats, curls, machines, hacks, presses, everything, twice a week. Or at least, like once every 5 days or something. But it was like these were intense workouts. And I lost muscle. I said, what the heck? So the guy said, you should have refed. You should have not have gone down so low carb. Your metabolism is just too fast. And the cardio on top of that, you lost muscle. Now, on my upper body, I actually gained like half a pound of muscle on my arms. I mean, every person is different. This is the thing. This is why you need to go through these experiences and find out what it is that works for you. Every single freaking human being is different. Sure, you can give protocols. Lift weights, eat a high protein diet, moderate carbs, and you'll get into a certain shape. That'll work for like just about 99% of the population. But above and beyond that, to get into the extremes or the excellence of each individual is an individual thing. Every single person responds differently to everything. Every single person has different body proportions. I was watching MMA last night. 2 guys, same height, 5'11". One guy had like an 11-inch reach advantage on the other. No, the shorter guy. There was one shorter guy and a taller guy. And the shorter guy had longer arms. Are you going to tell me these 2 guys bench press the same? Really? Or they curl the same? With one forearm, like the moment arm, which is the stress and the lever and the whole thing, and how it applies to the weight on the angles and everything. Are you telling me those 2 people doing the same exercise, they're going to get the same results? Yeah, engineer. Of course, you PhD master mathematician. Of course not. Every single person is absolutely different in their proportions. Are you telling me a long-femored, short-calved, tall guy with wide torso? I mean, everybody is freaking different, man. This is what got me like with the squats. And the first guy I ever tried to squat with was a squat. You would say, if his nickname would be something, it would be Squat. He was like so tall, his legs and everything were proportioned to go down vertical, and his legs would not his knees would not go knees in front of toes, knees above toes, in front of toes. If your femur is long and your tibia is short, you're going to have to lean back, like, whoa, so that knee doesn't go over. It's all about body proportions, but they go on the internet and say, you can't do this is wrong, this is the wrong posture position. For who? Same thing with presses. You got these extremely long arms, and then you got these people who look like they have Tyrannosaurus Rex arms, like that. Short arms, short, stubby, like sticking out of their chest with a big chest. They're going to bench the same. Their width, the grip, everything is so different, man. It's so different. And we got to bust through these myths. You have to understand, people watching this, I hope you understand. Try to find out, investigate, which is what I'm trying to do, into what body proportions are optimal for certain lifts for you. Measure your forearm. Measure it. Measure your arm. Work out the angles in proportion to your upper body. What if your upper body is super wide or super narrow? You got like narrow clavicles and your arms are super wide. You're starting to follow me, right? Okay, but no, one system to rule them all. This is how you train. This is the way you lift. Nope, got to find out what works for you. So, getting back to my leg session, doing basically 5 exercises. It's not like carved in stone, but for the last 4 or 5 sessions, they've been pretty damn steady, which is the leg curl for 5 sets, 1 warm-up very light, and then 4 working sets, bringing the pounds up by 20 reps. Very typical, 15 to 20 reps. This is very standard stuff. From there, I go to a compound. The compound that I'm doing now is the hack sled. I love the hack squat, but the hack squat tends to put a lot of pressure on my knee. I don't like it anymore. So I found this hack sled, which is when you you're grabbing here but the handles are down by your hips. It's not up here, it's down here. And for some reason, I can break my hips, I can open up my hips and flex my hips and get way down all the way to the bottom without any stress on my knee. The first time I tried it, 2 plates was a challenge, and I know, like 6, 8, 10 plates, these are the weights that I should be lifting at, and sometimes I do with other exercises, with the presses and stuff. 2 plates may not seem like anything, but to me it was a challenge. Small, long story short, build it up. This session got up to 3 plates times 10 reps. Felt comfortable, and I can't wait to go up to 3.5, 4, and just increase that. Then there's some days, like last session, where I need to do reps, like where I feel it's like, just do like sets of 20, and just really try to pump the leg. The problem with doing sets of 20, and this is by experience, I burn out. I'll do it once, I'll do it one session, and then when I try to do it on the next session, I just can't pull it off. And so what I do, I increase the weight. So I do what I can on each session according to the strength and the energy levels that I have. I really would have loved to have done 20 reps, but I just couldn't. Now, if I consistently try to push through those barriers and make myself do these things, there'll come a point where I just subconsciously just get sick of it and I'll try to do something else. So I know myself well enough to not to go to those extremes on a training block, because then I'll burn out and then I won't finish the training block and I'll just, I'll be doing something else. So I'll oscillate between high reps and higher weight, and I try to, just bring this thing up like that. Up here, then down here, up, and it's like a step. You're step, taking steps. That hack sled, great. From there, I'm doing the one-legged Bulgarian split or the one-leg Smith squat. I don't know. Some British guy, I saw his video, and he's calling it the one-leg squat. It's a Bulgarian split. You put your leg up on a stool or on the bench, and then you squat with one leg, like a pistol squat, but you support the other leg. And I made some nice progress with this. In fact, this is the exercise that most got me enthused on this session, because it's a pain in the ass. It's hard to get your balance. It's not particularly an easy exercise. I started out with just a 10-kilo plate on each side 4 sessions ago, and today, or on this particular session, I started out with 135, which is a 20-kilo plate, and did 4 sets, 2 on each leg, finishing with a kilo and a 5 kilo, a 20 and a 5. And the thing is, why am I so excited about it? Because on my last set, with the heavy set, it felt easy. It felt like I was just getting into the groove of pumping the leg like a freaking piston. No pain on the knee, no stress. I don't really feel pain, but it's like, if I put triple the weight on there, my knee would feel something. But no, here it's just like this, the working of the lever, the piston, and the muscle. It was fantastic. It was great. It's what pumping is all about with a heavier weight. So I can't wait to get into the higher weight ranges. I'm really focused on building up to 2 plates with the one-legged squat. And it's like, man, I know I can do this. And maybe heavier, It's not all about the weight. Because I only did 7 reps, and, I've got to work it up to at least 12. I was doing 15 on my last one before I jumped up the weight. The other exercise that I'm really excited about is the vertical leg press. Now here, I felt a little bit of stress on my lower back, and it might be because I didn't position myself correctly. I've only been doing this exercise for 4 or 5 sessions, and I haven't run into this problem before. Yesterday I did, or on this particular session, and so I have to work this out. But it's one of the most beneficial exercises that I've felt in a long time for the hams, for the quads, for the entire leg. The other exercise that is being performed rigorously is the adductor machine. Working up to top load, full pin. It's a pin load, like 190 pounds. So I start at 190. It's my last exercise, and try to do 3 sets. So I did 3 sets of 15, pumping with a fast pace, like just go. This thing about doing slow reps, I believe, is a mistake. These slow reps at the end, when you can't move the weight fast anymore. See, there's this formula that says speed times weight over distance equals force. It's physics. Physics doesn't lie. You try to drag a 100-pound block or that sled, you do it slowly, you expend X amount of energy. You try to push it as fast as you can. It's Y. Now you push it farther. It's, Y plus X. It's like more. If you want to get more, you go fast. Do less, you go slow. Now, what's the purpose of doing slow? When you can't go fast. You ran out of steam. So now it's like, and then you go for more reps. And what is that? It's called time under tension. But doing time under tension at the outset, on the outset of at the beginning of your set, defeats the purpose. Defeats the purpose of accumulating workload on the muscle. You want to pump that piston as fast as possible under control. Under control. Not like, you start out, okay, let's do the set. No. Pump it! And then it comes a time when it won't move. So that's slow now. Now control the eccentric. Do some more. That's time under tension. You were doing only 28 seconds. Now it's 35. Continue. Go deeper in the set. Pause. It's going slow because you can't move it fast. You're burned out. And then you bring it down slow because that's the part where you have more force and you have more power. And so that's the eccentric. And you do more. And now you're time under tension for 45 seconds. But people who teach time under tension from the outset are ignoring physics. The faster you move a weight over distance, the more force it creates. Okay, so that was basically the leg session. Leg curls, hack sled, Bulgarian splits, vertical press, and adductors. 5 exercises. And keeping steady on those exercises, building up the weights, building up the reps. Going to stay on this for a few weeks, see how far we can take it. Saw Chris Bumstead doing the hack sled with like 7 plates. He hurt his quad. He tweaked his quad. You'd think, man, I look at that, and 6, 7 plates on that particular hack. Good God. I know these are Olympian people, they're young 27-year-old guys on all the juice, on all the supplements, on all the food necessary, and then they get injured. It's like, that's a lot of weight, bro. It's flesh and blood. You're not, it's not a CGI. It's not a computer program. It's not a machine. It's flesh and blood, and you got to be careful. So he tweaked his quad, doing 6 or 7 plates. I'd be happy if I can rep with 5. Man, if I can rep with 5, doing 10 to 12, doing sets, 3, 4 sets, 10 to 12 with 5 plates, I think my legs will grow by then, because that's the thing that we want to do. We want to grow the legs. We want to increase the pant size. We want to get that quad sweep. Massive, while maintaining our waist under control. Now, okay, this is another thing I wanted to get into today, just on a tangent, is deloads. A friend of mine DM'd me and asked, what do you think about deloads? And I said, you're going to have to figure that out for yourself. But I can tell you from my personal experience that deloads don't work for me. What does work is taking a break from the lifting. So whenever I take a forced break for say a week, where I have to go on a road trip, where I have to leave town, I'm not lifting weights, and I come back, my bench press goes up. It goes up, and it feels easier. It just like, whoa. Man, I feel it's easy. Like almost anything I do feels easier. I tried doing push-ups at a certain period of time in my life to increase my bench. You know what happened? I lost strength. I lost strength on my bench press. It was bad. It was a scientific experiment for me. I did it. Like, I trained this way, I did these things, and my bench press went down. Technically, the push-up would be a deload, right? You're doing less weight. You're just doing your body weight. It didn't work. So you have to realize, what is training? What is training for? As a difference from as being different from exercise. Training is an activity that you do while pursuing a purpose. You're purposefully doing an activity to achieve a specific result. And so when you train for a 3-plate bench press, you're training for that result. You're not training with 1.5 plates, 2 plates, and then one day you come in and do 3, because now you can do 20 reps with 2 plates. So now you come in and 3, no, you can't even lift it off can't unrack the thing. You have to be training with it, training close to those weights, or even heavier, to be able to perform. And so deloads, in my mind, and for me, because everybody is different. I know some guys may say, man, deloads are the way to go. Deloads absolutely work. And I say, that is correct. They work for you, man. And go for it. More power to you. You have found what works for you. For me, this is just so you can take into perspective different ways of doing things. Deloads for me is a way of detraining. So if I want to train for a specific weight and I go and do half the weight for a few sessions, my body, my CNS especially, will start to adapt to that weight. And when I go back to the heavy weight, it'll feel difficult, to say the least. Whereas if I take a complete break, my memory chip is still, is still ingrained with the heavy weight that I was doing before. But now I'm fresh, I come back, and I can lift it better. Does that make sense to you? I mean, it makes perfect sense to me, and it worked for me. It may not work for you. You've got to try these things out. This is why I'm not dogmatic about these things. I am dogmatic about one thing, though. Everybody should find out what works for them. In the beginning, there are certain things that work for everybody on a very, very general, fundamental plane. But you quickly, if you stay on this activity, you quickly graduate from what works for everybody to what doesn't work for you and what could work for you optimally. So that's my message today. I'll leave the clip of the training video at the end. And that's about it for today, guys. Love you all. Please hit that subscribe button. We'll see you all next time.